Oh, it started to go. Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. Happy Funky Friday, Ficky Friday, whatever you want to call it. Friday, baby. We are back, ready to attack. We're going to have an awesome day. We're going to make it happen. And again, as you guys always know, I'm always so fired up to be here. Always excited to get back to work with you guys. You guys crush it. You guys make me proud. You come in. You just kill it. You crush it. You lock in some big time profits. Team, I want to make sure everybody is ending the week strong and profitable. We've had a great start to February so far, and I want to make sure that we continue that momentum, right? Let's crush it. Let's finalize this week. Let's make sure we're all walking away feeling successful, feeling like, man, we just absolutely dominated the markets this week. Right? Enjoy our weekend, disconnect, right? That's the beautiful thing about trading is we get the next 2 days off to do whatever the heck we want to do, come back fresh, come back dialed in this Money Monday, and have an amazing week number 2 of February. So once again, if you haven't done so yet, hit me with a big ol' Alpha Day Trading. Good morning and happy Friday. Let's get fired up. Let's get some energy here inside of chat before we go ahead and dive into it. And let me shut this light off real quick because it's all fuzzy again. I know why. 1 second. Haha, beautiful stuff. All right, what do we got, Joey? What's up, brother? Tyrone, Trader Adam, Chad, Carlos, and Sean. What's up, Nick, Dave Trades? How we doing, Stir? Hunter, Corey, everybody inside the chat. Y'all should be here right now. You should be all hyped up, fired up, ready to rock and roll. We got a big day ahead of us. Big day ahead of us. And let's go ahead and hit everybody on YouTube with a big old good morning as well. Who's over on the tube? Still no sound? You guys can hear me. You can hear me. Victor, what's up? Lex, Yasmin, Christopher, Javier, what's going on? Kaysen, why are you not inside the chat? Get inside the chat, brother. Dave, Drew, Jack, Chris Ryan, the Shadow movie, right? Is that Chris Ryan? The Shadow Recruit? What's up, man? How we doing? Happy Friday. Let's dive into it, guys. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about what we got going on. All right, so I'm sure you guys can agree, and I'm going to start here. We got plenty of time. We got 25 minutes, and we don't have a lot to talk about here. Would you guys agree that it seems like penny stocks are starting to become funky again? I'm going to raise my hand to that statement. Penny stocks, small caps, low float movers, they just kind of seem like they're getting a little funky again. We're seeing more rug pulls. We're seeing a lot of offerings. We're seeing a lot of stocks dump on off. We're seeing a lot of stocks just not follow through with setups. I don't know. I don't want to be biased here, but that's just kind of my realization. That's my thought process. That's what I think. So what do you guys think? Do you think we're starting to see, right, the same thing that we started to see last year when penny stocks started to become funky and not set up with no follow through? Yeah, I definitely think so, guys. Thanks for the S&P call. You made $1,400 yesterday. Roof coating life with the Roof Rabbit. I love it. Congratulations on those amazing profits from around that 413. We had a target of 420. Didn't quite hit it, but still, you got to know when to scale out, when to lock in profits, and again, not be greedy. I was able to lock in at just about 100% on those SPX calls yesterday. Not quite $1,400, but pretty close. And you absolutely crushed it. What an amazing day. So no one really has any feedback. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's cool. I wanted to get you guys, engaged here a little bit, right? Get you guys talking. But no, that's cool. That's what I think. I think pennies are starting to really become funky again. That's just my 2 cents. All right. So we're going to go ahead and brush through what we have today. But in my opinion, you're going to be sitting back. You're going to be sitting on your hands, and you're going to really be seeing where traders go today, right? What stocks are breaking out? What stocks are hitting the high day momentum scanner? What stocks are really giving us some nice, clean, consistent opportunity? Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there's still great opportunities. We've been crushing it. There's a lot of halt strat. Like, don't get me wrong. There's still opportunity, right? But it's been more choppy. It's been more inconsistent. We've seen more rug pulls and less follow through, right? That's what there's still opportunity, but we're seeing the opportunity become really depleted and we're seeing more inconsistency. So it's just something you got to be aware of and mindful of, right? But right now at this point in time, here's your watch list for today. Okay. You got MGTA. All right. MGTA is going to be one of your top watches for today. Exploring strategic alternatives. Okay, that's the press release, right? They're going to explore strategic alternatives. The company has made the determination to halt further development of its programs and conduct a comprehensive review of strategic alternatives focused on maximizing shareholder value. Right there, good little press release. Definitely got some investors and traders all hyped up, all excited, tickling their pickle just a little bit. And the stock ripped from around 56 cents all the way to 95 cents. All right, so here are your levels at this point in time here, okay? You see this gap fill? All right, you see how we had a low of day of 80 cents. We gapped down towards around 60 cents. What price are we above right now? We're above 80 cents. So we've officially broken and we're holding the low of day, right, before the gap down. That's a support level. So as long as you hold 80 cents here on MGTA, you have room where up to this support level, which will be resistance since we're underneath of it. And it's $1, right? It's a psychological, natural, strong level of resistance. Okay, so as long as you're over 80 cents, you can see MGTA squeeze on up to $1. If MGTA steals the hype today, steals the volume and the attention, where can we see MGTA go? We can see it up towards around the 200 SMA at 128. Here's the deal. If we start cracking below 80 cents, that's a key support level, guys. Where is your next support level at? The gap down spiking high of 60 cents. So if you can short this stock, you could short this below 80 cents for a fade all the way down to 60. Or if you're long on this, you absolutely want to put your stops below 80 cents, right? Definitely one of our top stocks to be watching today is going to be MGTA. All right. You don't have anything with GRCL. The stock drops a press release, FDA clearance news. Stock spikes on up right around 309. What's at 309? The 200 SMA. What do? We topped out at the 200 SMA and we started to dump on back down, losing interest, losing focus, losing volume. Buyers are not here, right? We have a lot of resistance that we hit. And right now we're just fading on off. So you don't really have anything right now with GRCL. A lot of you guys are looking at MULN. Now, MULN has potential if this stock can stay above 40 cents. All right, we're gonna put it right around, 40 cents. It's actually 0.4087. Right, that's going to be the level, and that's right around yesterday's high day. Actually, we can tick that down a smidge. Right, we can bring that down a little bit. Yesterday's high day, 0.4079. Okay. Post-market resistance, pre-market resistance. We broke that level, and now we want to see it stay above that level as support. What are we starting to see here with MULN? This could absolutely be our really, really awesome, very popular. I mean, I like this strategy. The crack followed by a snapback, higher low push, right? We've been seeing this happen a lot lately. In this market, right? Where a stock will come down into a level of support. It'll attempt a little bit of a bounce, right? We can see here with MULN, we did attempt a little bit of a bounce. You see that little green candle, right? We tried to bounce here just a little bit. Okay, but what did we do? We cracked that level. Straight down, boop, crack, right? And what are we doing right now? We're snapping back. So right when we cracked that level, we didn't just bounce and roll on over and fade on off, did we? No, we snapped back pretty much instantaneously. The moment we cracked that level, right, of support, we dropped quickly, but we snapped back instantaneously. This is a snapback, higher low push strategy, right? Where we crack our level of support, fall below it, snap back instantaneously, pull back, retest it, proving to us that we're officially regaining that level as support. We establish a higher low. That's where you think about getting long for the higher low push formation. And when we can add into the equation a little bit of this downtrend, right? You see how we're going to have a little bit of this downtrend here? We can add that into the equation. If we get a rejection off the downtrend, hold that level of support, put in our higher low, start to push. You guys got great entries. On top of that, breaking the downtrend. That's a bullish trade for the next leg up with MULN. Let's see how this plays on out. Okay, so right now you want to see it pull back to 0.4079. Hold that as your level of support. Give yourself a higher low. And if you see that, you could be taking longs for the leg up into that pre-market high right around 42.43, so 0.4243. And then when you look at this daily chart, you do have room all the way up to 4467. So 0.4467 resistance. And then if you break that level, you can see MULN spike up right to 0.4771 resistance. Now, this was a stock I did not trade yesterday, but it was a stock that we gave you some analysis on, and it hits every single target yesterday. I would suggest keeping MULN on high watch for today if you like this stock. I don't like it, but you may, and it's definitely tradable, guys. All right, so keep it on watch. That would be your strategy. That would be the formation that you'd like to see. High probability, low risk, high reward, make it happen. Lastly, SIDU, right? So Nick was talking about SIDU. He's like, hey, could this be a dead cat bounce? 100%, guys, right? We have this massive gap down and we put in our first day, right? So we have a low of day before the gap down. And then that gap down day, we put in a high a day. Once we start to break the gap down high a day, that's typically where volume starts to really move on in. And that's where you start to see the dead cat bounce start to play on out. So what happened here with SIDU, right? Well, you got to mark up, first things first, the gap down high, which we did, 0.4396. And what happened here? All the volume started to move in once we broke that level. This is starting to play on out for a possible dead cat, yes, meow, cat, bounce here on SIDU. So support is going to be the gap down high at 0.4396. That's your support level. And look left to gauge your resistance levels, right? You're going to have some pre-market resistance up towards right around 59 cents, 0.5896. You're going to have some resistance there, okay? And if you ever break these pre-market highs, look at your daily chart. Where could you see it go? Well, it could technically fill the gap. That's your next level of resistance, would be right around the low of day before the massive gap down, right around 87 cents. Now, you're going to have psychological levels along the way up, right? On a penny stock, every 5 cents is a psychological level of resistance. And then we get up to 75 cents, which is a bigger level, more natural, and stronger level of resistance would be that full quarter of 25 cents, right? So 75-cent resistance. So, if you break 60, think about taking profits at 65 cents and then 70 and then 75 cents all the way up towards around the low of day before the gap down there with SIDU. For those of you watching SIDU at this point in time. And then last but not least, guys, we do have HSCS that we're going to have on watch today. This morning, 9 o'clock here, just about 16 minutes ago, they're announcing further internalization of its patient portfolio. Wow. Okay. So here's really what triggered this, right? They were granted a Korean patent on ECG screening user artificial intelligence. So keyword, granted a patent, right? On top of that, this is a former runner. This stock here recently just went from 70 cents all the way to $2.50. Massive mover, started to dump on off. Company just now here at 9 o'clock, dropping a press release to bring more focus and bring more attention into the stock. But here's the deal. We've really got to start breaking some of these levels of resistance, right? Prior resistance here from the last spiking high, right around 266. Resistance here in pre-market, okay? Where is resistance on the daily? Up towards around 284. Spiking high, spiking high, spiking high. $2.84, right? We got to break 266, 284, and then honestly, I'm going to say you need to break $3 as well. It's a psychological level. So before I think about getting long on a stock like HSCS, I want to see it breaking above those levels of resistance and actually holding above those levels of resistance as support. Then we can have some fun. Then the stock can really start to move just a little bit more, right? We got some room to 330. We got some room up towards around 373, and then just really look at these lower shadows, right? These upper shadows. I'm sorry, these upper shadows, right? And these are going to be some targets. Like these highs of day are going to be points where the stock may squeeze up to, and you see a negative reaction, and you drop on back down. So those are going to be areas that you should be looking to lock in profits if you ever get long here with HSCS. Now, where's support? Right now at this point in time, I'm going to say support is right around 196, right? Why? Spiking high 196, okay? High a day yesterday, 196, and it's right around $2. So you get about 196 to $2 support here with HSCS. You got a lot of resistance between 266 and 3, but if we get a nice little break over those levels, we can see a nice spike to 330 and then a nice spike to 373. He's going to get a good chuckle when he reads my comment. Me trading MULN again would be like Alpha trading AMC again. Not going to happen. I traded AMC and I made money. What? I'm confused. Me trading MULN again would be like Alpha trading AMC. Not gonna, oh yeah, just not gonna happen. I gotcha. Yeah, I'm not gonna trade AMC. Just not gonna happen. You're 100% right, buddy. Right? I'm just not gonna trade it. It's just not happening, right? 100%, bro. But yeah, there's some opportunity there, guys. All right, there's definitely some opportunity. Let's dive into where my focus is gonna be today, right? Because I'm not looking at pennies, guys. If you want me to look at pennies and you're looking at something and you need help and you want me to help you build a plan or give you some additional analysis, you bring it to my attention here inside of chat. I got you guys covered. My focus today, broader market, trading options, trading shares. I mean, we're really going to be focused on Boeing, maybe Disney. I think Disney may be a little early, but then we're going to be looking at obviously the SPY and the Qs. Like we are, pretty overextended right now, guys. And you got a couple things that, kind of stand out to me. What do we know about the US dollar? Someone hit me with it. When the US dollar goes up, what do stocks do? When the US dollar goes down, what do stocks typically do, right? Like if you guys know anything about, looking at the US dollar index and stuff like that. On top of that, I'm going to shout out Ashton Nolan, right? Because Ashton posted this last night and it brought it to my attention. I'm like, you're 100% right. We're just very overextended. We're like +3 on the ATR, right? I don't put ATR up here, but you can just see that we're overextended. And his analysis was going back to like 2018, 2019. And we've never been this overextended, +3 outside of +3, ATR. And when we're this overextended, the snapbacks can be very brutal, right? Very brutal. So we are really hot, guys. Like we are so overextended that we're due for a pullback. And that pullback could be really, really brutal here, guys. So you got to be careful if you're playing to the long side. Look again how overextended we are. It's nuts. Now, do we have a lot of volume moving in? Yes. Could we consolidate and continue higher? Yes. But when we pull back, which we know will happen, being this overextended, it could be a really, really brutal pullback. To top it off, Stir's 100% right. It does the opposite to keep it simple. So when you look at the US dollar, and the US dollar is falling from October to now, what's the market doing from October to now? It's been going up. When the US dollar was going up throughout the entire year of 2022, what was the market doing the entire year of 2022? It was falling. So let's go do some quick analysis here, right? We know that the markets are overextended. Correct? Correct. I mean, that's very clear that, we're very, very overextended. Right? We just had some economic data come on out and we have more. We got PMI data coming out at 10 o'clock. Next week, we got a clear week. We got a free week of no BS, right? But then the following week, we have CPI and PPI. And the market is pricing in right now the best case scenario, just so you guys know. Go to Google, do some research, look at everything, right? The market is pricing in the absolute best case scenario, the soft landing, rates coming down substantially, the Fed hitting their 2% target by end of the year, like literally pricing in best case scenario, even when the Fed made it known that there may be more challenges ahead, but the market's pricing in best case. So you add that to the equation, the fact that we're overextended, and then look at what the US dollar just did. It's very, very clear from a price action standpoint. I mean, if you don't agree with me, tell me, but hey, I don't care. I mean, this is what I see. I see 101.50 support where we really started the bounce on up and we really started the grind. We just came down and grinded, right? That support level. We come down, hit support, hit support, hit support, hit support. So what is happening at that point in time? Longs getting in, right? There's longs getting in. What do longs do? They put stop losses under support. Like, look at this. Like, that is a confirmation. Longs are definitely getting in at this point in time, and stops are most likely going right here under that support level. And then where are shorts getting in? Shorts are going to be getting in underneath, right, that support level. Look at this bull. Look at this bull trap or bear trap. A little bit of both, right? Longs coming in, getting stopped out, shorts getting involved just to get snapped out. Look at that liquidity pool. I mean, look at that market manipulation. Look at that fake crack on down to stop out the longs, to bring in the shorts, just to stop out the shorts once again. That's called liquidity, guys. There's a lot of volume moving through that level. So overall, I mean, look at how we just reacted over the last 3 days in conjunction with what we've been doing in the market. Like, I see, bullishness here with the US dollar. And when you see bullishness, with the US dollar, right, we know that the market tends to do the opposite. And then we add everything else to the equation that we just talked about. So what am I thinking about doing right now? Maybe scaling out even more like I was doing yesterday with some of my long-term investments. I was taking a little bit of Amazon before earnings. I was taking a little bit of Apple before earnings. I was taking some Meta off that 25% move. I was just trimming a little bit. I'm probably going to trim a little bit more today. Now, do I think we get more upside? I think we can get a little bit more. There could be just a little bit more. I don't think we're ready to come straight down and dump by any means. I think there could be a little bit more attempt to the upside. I think we may consolidate a little bit and not do too much. I mean, I think we might find ourselves doing something like this in the coming week or so, right? More of this kind of up and down, sideways movement leading up to CPI and PPI. That's what I think we can happen. I think that's where I'm like leaning 80% as more of this sideways movement. I don't think we continue to squeeze to the upside. I don't really see a massive, drop to the downside. I think we could see that massive drop around CPI and PPI, not this coming week, but the week after. So I would expect maybe more, of this, right? Like what we kind of see here, right? More of this just kind of sideways movement, maybe slight grind to the upside, but not as crazy what we've seen. Maybe some of this, more of this sideways movement leading up to CPI and PPI data. I don't think we continue to squeeze. We're very overextended. I think we tried that slow grind on up, very choppy. And then I think we start to see more volatility kick in here, not next week, but the week after. And that's when I think everything could really start to come together personally and really start to see the markets drop, which is in line with our analysis. I mean, my analysis that the market drops into the May FOMC meeting, right? So we got March coming on up, 25 basis points. No FOMC meeting here in April, but May, that's when the market's pricing in the expectations of the Fed pausing. So I do think we get that slow pullback. We get the pullback leading up into the May meeting. And then I think that's when the market really starts to explode, because historically that's what happens. When the Fed officially pauses, the market starts to front run. The market starts to go higher. And then it really explodes and really starts to pick on up when the Fed starts to pivot. So that kind of is in line with my time horizon. I know I gave you guys a lot. You could be overwhelmed. We're day traders here. We're just looking for intraday opportunities. But I want to give you guys some of my longer term analysis, what I think we could be seeing in the coming weeks, not just today, and how I'm looking to kind of position myself and all that good jazz. Okay, so here's the deal for today, though, because that's where you guys are probably like the most interested. Like, Josh, okay, what are you looking to do today? As long as we hold 410.86 on the SPY, I would take it long and play calls to 412.89. At any point in time we break 412.89 on the SPY, I would jump into some calls and play those up towards around 414.82. Okay. However, if we're not able to get a strong bounce on back up here to play calls at the open to that 412.89, and if we're not breaking higher and moving on up, all right, we're not playing calls, right? So if we can't hold this 410.86 support level and we start to crack it when we open on up and we stay below it, I'm taking puts to 408.14. So the line in the sand right now, your make or break for calls or puts right at the start of the day is 410.86. If you stay above it, play calls to 412.89 and then 414.82. If you crack below 410.86, play puts down to 408.14. And then I'm going to go back down to that 405 level. It's been a really nice level here lately. 405 on the SPY. Now, cracks and retests, right? That could get you involved. Breaks and retests can get you involved. Obviously, the more separate reasons you have to suggest a long trade or a short trade, the better. Just because a stock falls below a support level doesn't necessarily mean you need to go hard and heavy on the trade. Just because a stock breaks resistance doesn't mean you should go hard and heavy on the trade. Like as many separate reasons as possible. Double bottoms, double tops, cracks and retests, right? Price action, volume, like add everything together and really make sure that you got some high probabilities. But those are the basic levels of our key support and resistance. And based on what happens at these levels is going to start to really dictate how we should get involved here with the SPY and what direction we should be looking to trade it. And then lastly, I got 30 seconds. Okay. If the market goes red today, which I hope it does, because that's going to help BA, ticker Boeing. All right, guys, get inside of the community, get inside of levels, check out BA with the analysis. As long as we stay below yesterday's low of day with BA, okay, and we stay below the 20 EMA, I'm going to be looking to take some puts down the 205 and then 203.06. Again, here on ticker BA. Check that out inside of levels. We're all set, ready to rock and roll. You know exactly what I'm looking at for the day, how I'm looking to maneuver, and just again, take advantage of this market. Again, how I'm looking to capitalize and lock in some profits today to make sure we're ending the week strong, continuing this amazing momentum, through the end of this week, in the next week, and continue to crush it with the best team out there, team. With the best team out there, team. That made no sense. With the best team out there. So, all right, team, let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Let's make it happen. And let's lock in some profits, guys. So far, we're absolutely crushing the month of freaking February. We're just crushing it. Like, keep it up, guys. I want to see us continuing to crush it, right? We've literally had one teeny loss of $12, right? Let's keep doing what we've been doing and just see all of this beautiful green. So keep it up, guys. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's make it happen. Right. So again, we're going to go to SPY here out of the gate. Yeah, we're going to go SPY here at the start of the day. Right. We're coming up to that 412.89 level here on the SPY. 412.89 is right around that level of resistance that we could be looking for a short position, right? If we get like a nice little tabletop, if we get anything that really suggests, hey, it's time to get short, that's going to be up towards around that 412.89 level. So let's keep the SPY on watch. Again, up to 412.89. We'll be looking at puts. A quick little scalp opportunity up there. Go ahead and float my P&L for you guys. Just if I do get involved in a trade, you guys can see it right here on the live stream. So we are all set. Again, just looking to see if we get that spike on up, top on out, somewhere around this 413-ish level. Maybe get a nice little drop on back down for a quick little scalperooski here. Right now, I'm looking at you probably like I'm going 7 days out at a 412 put. Right now, I'm looking at a 412 put going 7 days out. That's where I'm at right now at this point in time. Getting ready to maybe pull the trigger on a quick scalp for the quick drop on down if it taps 412.89. It's really got to get that overextended pop into that 412.89 for me to want to pull the trigger. And again, that would probably just be a quick scalp on this trade for a quick reaction on down, locking a couple bucks. Right now, I'm not in, as you guys can see, but my finger is on the trigger. We are coming into yesterday's low of day. Might give it maybe like, I don't know, 25 cents of breathing room if I take this trade here. It's already starting to get that reaction. You see how I already reacted to the downside, right? Came up towards around 412.70. Already had a 50-cent reaction down, that quick drop. That's what we're looking for at right around that 413. So again, I am not in right now at this point in time on the SPY, but I'm watching. I'm waiting. Want to see what we have. We are coming into yesterday's low of day. And then if you go back and take a look at the first, which was Wednesday's high of day, 413.66. Yeah, MGTA right now, we got nothing. MULN, we got nada. SIDU, you got to let this thing come back down towards around 44 cents. And let's see if HSCS can get that break that y'all are looking for over $3 up to 330. There's QQQ. There's the Qs right at yesterday's low of day as well here on QQQ. So let's see, guys. Are we going to top on out at yesterday's low of day and start to pull on back? What do we got? Again, not close enough of an entry. We are not close enough here at this point in time for that entry. But again, if we come up, tap that 412.89 right on 413, and we can't break above it, I already have an order typed up, ready to go to play those put contracts. Okay? That's it. We break that level, I get stopped out for a small loss. Let it go up towards around 413.66. What does it do there? Right? What does it do at yesterday's open? If we stay below it and we can't break, I take put contracts, rinse and repeat the process, right? Small losses, right? We'll have one nice good trade today that makes our week. So let's dive into it, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's make sure that we're positioned correctly and that we're crushing it today. So right now, just going to watch and see what that price action looks like here. We're at 412.89. Want to see what price action looks like here. Still squeezing, right? Still squeezing. No reason to pull the trigger. It could squeeze to 413.66, so let it squeeze to 413.66. If it can get another 60 cents to the upside and it's overextended like that, count me in. Right now, there's no reason to be pulling the trigger on the first touch after we've already kind of consolidated a little bit, right? You had that little consolidation candle. You had that move up. You kind of set sideways a little bit. It wasn't just straight up and then that reaction. You started to see that reaction here. There was a little bit of that stall for maybe that 1 minute, right? And now it's starting to push on up again. Right now, I'm going to sit back on the hands and wait, right? We do have momentum increasing here. That's one thing to notice. Momentum is still increasing at this point in time, but we are losing some volume as well. So just got to wait and really wait. Make sure that the trade you're taking is of the highest probability. Again, I'm looking at a 412 put contract. 10 of those. And that is going to be going 7 days out. So that's going to be going to a February 10th expiration. So 7 days out. And again, right now, you can see my hands are literally just right here. What's that movie where it's the hands? Like, what do you do with the hands? It's like, put them down. It's like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. Where do I put my hands? That's it. I don't need to be finger on the trigger. I don't need to be pulling the trigger. I'm just going to sit here and just look at my hands and wait for the opportunity. Allen, 1769. Green for the day. You're out. Solid. Good stuff, boss. Way to come in and get it. So you're right around that 413 resistance. I mean, if it's like a tabletop, yeah, I would take a little bit of a, tabletop short here. But I kind of want to see it squeeze to that 413.66. Honestly, I want to see it pop through yesterday's low and get a quick spike on up. Another maybe 50 cents on up quickly. Whoop! Right to that 413.66. Grab it to the penny, to the short side, and then throw a stop loss over 414 and then let it come on back down. We may get something here coming on up. Volume's really fading here a little bit. One more weak pop. One more pop on back up here. 413.66. I will be pulling the trigger. Right around 413.66 with the stop loss, maybe 40 cents above. So 50 cents. It's half the delta. A couple $100. Cool. Buy to open 10. Getting ready in 3. Not yet. It's got to get 413.66. I want to see it squeeze to that 413.66. I'm picky. There's 413.41, 413.40. Still not there, guys. It's got to go overextended move, 413.66. We're pretty overextended. Come on. Give me that one last green candle. Right into that 413.66. You start dumping here, SPY. It's okay. It's okay if you start the drop right now. It's fine. But I want to pull the trigger. 413.66 off an overextended move. Right now, we're already seeing a little bit of a pullback. So no trade still at this point in time. We are tradeless. Are we going to get it? Are we going to get the trade? Oh, man. And there's no volume here at all. There's no volume either. Man, I'm picky. There's no 413.66. I am not in right now at this point in time. I want it, though. The only thing that I don't like, I guess, the one thing that I'm not a fan of is the momentum is still screaming here. Momentum is still screaming. All right, I just took 10 for a quick scalp. All right, so we're going to go here, filled at 3. We're going to go here, create an opposite order, just so I can be finger on the trigger, sell the close 10 if I need. We're in at $3. We're up about 50 on the trade. We're looking for a quick scalp. Stops are nice and tight if it doesn't react on down. If it doesn't drop quickly, I get out very quickly. Starting to see that reaction a little bit. Not as quick as I want to see it, though. Sell the close, 10 on the market. That's fine. You see how it's still trying to push and it's not just getting that big, strong reaction on down. If it doesn't start to drop here quickly, I don't want to be in it, and I will close this quickly. So right now we're up like $80. There's 120. Stops are break even now. Here. We're up $100 on the trade. 70. I want to see that quick pullback. If it comes back up over 413.70, I'll be out because this was a scalp opportunity, guys. That's all it was a scalp. We're not looking to get rich. We're looking to lock in base hits. And we're going to take a quick $150. I'll take $150 in 2 minutes. Why not? Why not take a quick $150 in 2 minutes? There's nothing wrong with $150 in 2 minutes. It's a base hit. You do that like 2 or 3 times a day, right? You hit $500 and you're great. And then, like Corey said as well, you got economic data coming on up. Not at 9:45, is it? Yeah, you got global composite PMI, but you got non-manufacturing PMI at 10. If you guys want to hold that a little bit longer, you can. I like to scalp, guys. So it's the overextended scalp off yesterday's open. Your entry was at 413.66. You could risk over 414. And you could have a target at like 412.89, but I scalped the market. And I wanted to get out quick. Those contracts, it was a quick little 5-6% here. So not a bad base hit on a Friday. Just locking in base hits, guys. That's it. And now we sit back and wait. Now we just sit back and wait here for the next trade. All right, we're overextended to the upside. We can see we went from 411.50 to 413.66. What's strong? Like, why is that 413.66 level, significant? Well, it was yesterday's open, and it was a lot of support and a lot of resistance at that level. When you're overextended like this into a key level of resistance, I would say like 80% of the time you see a reaction. It reacts. There's a negative reaction if it's overextended to resistance. So if you nail it to the penny and you get your fill, you're looking for that quick reaction for a quick scalp, and your stops are nice and tight, right? Think of like a dip buy. You guys know dip buys, right? Where the stock is dumping down into support and you get that quick reaction for the long. Same thing applies to the short side. And that's what we were looking for there. Let's see if there's a tabletop here. We could have a better reversal, team. If this is a tabletop and this candle starts to flip red, we're looking for a pullback to 412.89. So if you're still holding those puts, you look great right now. You look fantastic on the SPY. Stops over, I would say 413.90, 413.95 is a stop. You can sell and scale out of these puts at 412.89, right around 412.89 here. You're starting to see that tabletop. And that tabletop looks great to get more of a official retracement, an official pullback, just a little bit more. You could even come back down to that VWAP, which is beautiful. So right now we got a quick little, 150-ish on the day. It's not a bad way to start the day. If, obviously hindsight, hold longer, you can make more money. But my trade plan was a quick in and a quick out for a scalp. 10 contracts. We got a quick 15 cents. Right? Juicy stuff. We are able to lock in some profits here. All right. If you're still holding some of those, you definitely want to think about scaling out now or going risk-free, right? You want to think about scaling out now or going risk-free on the trade, right? There's a point in time when you go risk-free on a trade so you can't lose. And there's a point in time where you start scaling out so you're not greedy. Let's go look at some of these other opportunities you guys are talking about. HSCS, nothing there. You said RSLS is squeezing. Reshape Life Sciences. Where's the news? Where's the news? Where's the news? There's no news on RSLS. I don't see any news here. This stock was moving a little bit last night. 2 shares up after hours. Company filed an RW to withdraw registration and offering. Okay, so they filed a registration of offering withdrawal form, RW. So that's what you got right now here with RSLS, and she's squeezing, right? It's a very low float stock. This stock is meeting the criteria that MSGM met. It's under $1 million in float right now at this point in time, under $1 million in float. RSLS could really squeeze. You got room to 21.38. You can see the stock at 21.38. That's your 200 SMA. So it will unhalt. RSLS will go live. It will resume at 9:49.36. 9:49.36. Oh, man. My back hurts. Imulin, wow, what a squeeze. That thing went straight up out of the gate. Just no looking back, baby. No looking back. What do we got with BA? Nothing yet. What do we got with Disney? Nothing yet. SPY, nice scalp opportunity. Really nice scalp for about 50 cents. That's all you need, baby. 50 cents, half the delta, right? Take your profits quick. Stops at break even on the rest, right? If you get clipped, you're clipped. If it runs, you print. Rinse and repeat. All right, now where's the next area to most likely see the SPY get rejected? That's going to be yesterday. Not yes, I don't think. Yeah, yesterday's open. Right? Is that yesterday's open? Yeah, yesterday's open at 414.86. I think I was saying 413.66 was yesterday's open. I was incorrect. 413.66 was going to be Wednesday's high of day. So that's my apologies. I was saying that 413.66 was yesterday's open. That was Wednesday's high of day. Yesterday's open is here at 414.86. But here's the deal, right? You got to be careful with these scalps, right? You got to be very careful with these quick scalps off these levels of resistance. And if you are not positioned correctly, you can get burned big time. And if you can't execute quickly, you can get burned big time. Like these are quick in and outs. These are quick entries and exits, right? Dip buys. They're like 5-second scalps, 10-second scalps. But right now, we could definitely see our next quick scalp to the short side right off of yesterday's open, right around 414.86. But you got to be careful here because momentum is hot. You're trading against the trend. So if you're not familiar or not comfortable with trading against the trend for those quick reactions and you don't know how to gauge those quick reactions, right, where a stock is going to stop and pull back a little bit before moving higher, don't short, right? It's very risky if you don't know how to trade it correctly. But if you do, it is a very, really, really high probability style of trading. But right now, we're just going to let the SPY get up towards around that 414.86 mark and see what happens. RSLS is live. No halt strategy, though, unfortunately. No halt strategy here with RSLS.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Josh.
Who's that? Did you guys hear something? What's up, Matt? How we doing?
Getting better.
Nice, man. You're live on YouTube as well, so we got a few viewers over there.
Very cool.
Feeling better, though? Good stuff.
Feeling better. Still kind of hoarse, stuffed up a little, but I didn't even look at the market yesterday.
Really?
Never even turned anything on. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, yesterday was a big day, man. It was a very big day.
I was excited when I looked last night. I was like, go Facebook, go.
Yeah, look at Meta. Like, 25%. Let's rock, baby.
Mm-hmm. I just need another couple 25% moves every day and back to square
one.
And
we'll be good. Yeah. Just go 100%. I mean, it's already 100% since those lows, right? Which is nuts. Within 3 months, Meta's up 100%. Nvidia's up 80%. Across the board. I mean, it's not like what? Baba? Is it Baba? I mean, they're up like 100% in the last couple of months.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, from around 60 to 120 since November.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, LI, a lot of these Chinese stocks, I own LI, and this one from 1250 up to 26, so a little over 100% since those November lows. I love it, man. I don't think I've ever seen one of my long-term investments go 100% in literally 3 months. I'm like, what do I do? Do I sell it? Do I start taking profits? Like, I was thinking 100% over 10 years, right? But I got it in 3 months, so.
I don't know. It depends on if you want to own that stock. If you believe in that stock for 10, 20 years, hold it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Now, we were having this conversation yesterday. We could touch on this later, but do you ever personally, with your long-term investments, ever trim and roll some of that realized profit into maybe some of your underperformers that you still like long-term, or you just hold?
No, I sector rotate all the time.
Okay.
I sell high and buy lows. That's why my
Nice.
portfolio was
And just
really good
rotate
last
it out.
year, because I was 2 years ago, I was selling all the highs of tech, and because it was overperforming, and the underperforming was the energy and like Chevron, Exxon, stuff like that. And so I was just selling Apple, selling Nvidia, and that at highs. Now I didn't get the highs, but I
No,
was
I
selling
assume
at highs.
as well that you weren't selling everything,
No. So
or you were
part of my
trimming, right?
portfolio is sector rotation, where I have 10 sectors, and I try and keep everything around 10% across the board. And when one gets out of whack, which normally it's been tech, I'll sell a percentage or so, 2, 3, 4% of tech, to get that down mathematically to around 10% again. And think of it like if you have $100,000, you want 10,000 in each sector.
Yep.
And if tech has 15,000 at
You'll
that point,
sell
you just sell
5 more, bring it
5,000.
back down to 10, and rotate the 5 into the
Exactly. And you put
underperforming
that
sector.
5,000 into a losing stock, which is Chevron, Exxon, whatnot. And all of a sudden in 2022, energy went insane and tech was crashing. So it was basically the exact opposite. I was selling my energy and buying tech.
Gotcha. Very well put, very well explained. We had this conversation yesterday, and you definitely hit it on the head in about 2 seconds. It took me like 20 minutes to really go through it. But no, same stuff.
Yeah, and that's about 40% of my portfolio is the sector rotation.
So I want to bring this to your attention, guys. The SPY, a little bit of a head and shoulders formation right now at this point in time here on the SPY. If you look at it, you got that right shoulder starting to form right around that left shoulder. If you guys like a sexy, juicy, mouth-watering head and shoulders. So keep this one on watch here with the SPY. Let's see how this candle does right here at this point in time. Because on the flip side too, what you got to look at is it's still grinding that 9 EMA, right? So it's still grinding the 9. It's still looking like it has some juice left in it, but I still see a weakening in volume, right? And we actually have momentum falling now at this point in time, right? Momentum is actually falling just a little bit, indicating a potential reversal off that head and shoulders formation.
It looks like every stock has just a massive gap up from close to open. Gap up or gap downs. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we're coming into some of yesterday's lows as well. So you had a pretty big gap down. You had Apple earnings, Amazon, and you had Alphabet as well, which just kind of pulled the market down just a smidge. Yep.
Yeah.
So let's see if we get that crack on down here with the SPY. We're up about $50 or so. Not the best entry, so the heat will be a little bit more on this. And right now, we're not really seeing that right shoulder the way I want it. So I'm getting ready to cut this. I'm getting ready to cut this real quick on the SPY because we're not really seeing that right shoulder develop the way I wanted to see it. And looking in hindsight, my cost basis, my entry, just not where I want it to be. And apparently you can't type. The only thing that I still see that, kind of wants me, keep me in it just for a few more seconds here is the fact that momentum's falling with volume, even though we're kind of just above right where we want to be. But here in a second, my finger is on the trigger and I'm getting ready to pull it. Yeah, if you guys want, you go over to YouTube, guys. You can go over to YouTube. We're still live right now up until 10 o'clock on Fridays on YouTube. So feel free, come on over, and we're more than happy to let you guys follow along.
Yeah, after you switch out, I would like to talk about Google a little bit, because Google had some interesting news on its earnings that it spoke about.
Absolutely, 100%. maybe when we really see things slow down leading up to maybe like 10:30, 11. I would say actually 10 o'clock's fine. It's a Friday. I forget. We close up around 10:30, 11 on Fridays. So no, 100%. So this candle is really going to start dropping. If we get back above 414, I'm going to be out of this this put position here on the SPY, guys. I'll be out if we get back above 414. Let's see if momentum's going to really pull this down. If we can roll over and drop just a smidge here, right around that resistance level. I'm keeping the stops nice and tight. Got a little bit of that tabletop here. Momentum's falling. Volume was weak on the last two green candles with an increase in volume on this last rejection candle. So right now I still kind of like it. I'm still holding it. And we're right around break even right now at this point in time on this trade. But I would say back above like 413.75, I'd have to start cutting this one. We got a crack below 413.50 to really start seeing some nice profits here on those SPY puts. Really got to start cracking that four. There we go. There's a quick little crack. We're going to take it real quick because I was a little late to the trade in the first place. So I'm going to do the right thing and just go ahead and get out for another quick little $100 scalp. And that takes me $200 on the day between two trades. And it's not bad, right? Two winners, $200 on a Friday. I mean, hey, it adds up. It adds up. And then again, Corey, 1 minute until PMI data. Right. And I don't want to be in this leading up to manufacturing PMI for January. So we'll take a couple base hits here, guys. We'll take a couple base hits on the day. And that really adds, some nice profits to the bottom line for this month, right? I mean, I don't want to overdo it when I'm well over my goal. So far, like I'm exceeding my $500-ish a day average. I mean, in the last 2 days, 3 days, if you include today, in the month of February, already up a little over $3,400 of profit. And my goal is right around $1,500. So I'm $2,000 over what my average is, which gives me some breathing room and all that good stuff. And I don't have to feel like I have to be here and trade. And then look at that. Boom. Look at the SPY just dump on off with that data. That's crazy. But you got to do the right thing. It's all about positioning, right? We talk about this all the time. Be a professional, guys. If you know you have economic data coming on up at 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30, and you know that the markets will be volatile, and you don't know what direction the markets are gonna move, it's very, very risky, and it makes it really hard to manage your risk. What do you have to do as a professional trader? My rule of thumb is not to be in a position before that economic release, and then wait for the market to digest it, react to it, settle back down, and then look for the opportunity. Because, let me put this in perspective. I made $100 on that trade, right? Nice little base hit scalp. Those contracts are now up about 10%. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, $400, right? You can't think about the $400 potential. Like, oh, if I would have just held it, I would have made $400. I only got 100. What you got to think of is, what if by doing the wrong thing, making a bad decision, you would have held through that 10 o'clock PMI release there, and it spiked up $1. You'd have been down $400. So you got to always think like, okay, would that have made sense? Would that have been a good decision to hold through that if it would have went against me? You can't always look at the one angle and it might be, one-sided, like, oh, if I would have held that one time, it would have went with me. You'll come to find out it goes against you more times than it goes with you. So again, key takeaway, be a pro. Understand what's going on in the market. This morning, we had 10 a.m. ISM non-manufacturing PMI for January. High importance. We know that type of data brings in volatility to the market. You should be out of your positions, I would say 1 minute before, and really not look to get back in, say 1 minute after. Let the market digest. Let the market settle. You're making the best of the best decision. You're building really good habits, and that's going to keep you on the consistent side of trading. Okay? That's all I got for you guys. You want to talk about Google, Matt?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Google in their conversation on. So obviously it wasn't in like any underlying revenue expectation or anything. They are actually for the first time feeling threatened on their search engine.
Really?
That I've always said Google is one of the safest plays in the world, and I still think it is.
Yeah.
But for the first time, where does Google make the most money of
Ads.
their massive empire? The ads on Google, just
Yep.
Google.com, and everything, all the ad revenue, and the um, the open source chart. What it was called? Chart a something.
GPT.
Yes, that's what it was. Chat. Was it
GPT
GPT?
or GT? I think it's GPT. Chat GPT. Yeah.
Yep. So the open source, and I tried it. It's awesome.
Oh, I
And
did too. It's pretty badass. Yeah.
it's really cool. And Microsoft is funding that business. They don't own it, but they're funding it.
They're funding it billions.
And yes, and the whole point of it is to destroy Google. It's free. It,
Well, it was
there's
like
no.
Musk and someone else, right? I don't know the other person behind it, but it was Musk and somebody else. But yeah, it's free. It's open source. Anybody can log in, use it,
Right.
and it's really powerful. Yeah.
And so with the future of GPT, it could turn into just a massive search engine as well. But now there's no ads. So you can, it's kind of like Ask Jeeves, if you remember that from years and years ago.
Ask Jeeves.
I don't even know if it exists anymore.
It's kind of like Brave too. Brave's very similar to like Google Chrome, but without a lot of the ads, right?
Right. And where you can ask specific questions, where Google, you're more or less keywording. And you could state a sentence and it'll get most of it to a point. But the Chat GPT will be able to do so much more. You could ask very sophisticated questions and it will find your answer, and then you just ask for the source and it will give you the link.
Yeah, I told it to go to alphadaytrading.com and write me a new biography. Rewrite my current bio on alphadaytrading.com, and it rewrote the bio that's on the website.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. Awesome. It was insane. Very, very, yeah.
And so the only way Google can compete with this is to create one just like it. But now you're creating something that you can't charge for.
And like you said, like what is it? Like the percentage, is it like 20% or is it more? Their revenue comes from ads.
I don't know. It's a line. I would almost say
it's a lot. And it was a huge, like how are they going to offset that, right? Google ad.
Yeah, I'm Googling it myself.
What was it? 57%. So if you tell, that was Q3 of 2022 though. I mean, that's pretty outdated, but yeah, it's Google's revenue total.
It's 30-40% probably.
It's still, I mean, it's nearly half of their revenue, 100%.
Mm-hmm. So this could be a Google killer. This really could be. And I'm not saying now, but
you got a few years down the road, it could be, unless they can find a way to adapt to offset the revenue that could be lost if that's something that that does happen.
Absolutely.
And if that does happen, Microsoft is a great freaking play.
Yeah. Then the feds just launched the lawsuit. I don't know if you heard against Google.
And I did not hear about that. No.
Yep. And just saying they have a monopoly on the ad revenue business. And it's just too big.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, you're 100% right. I did see that.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we could see a major shakeout in 3 to 5 years, easily. And with Google out of the picture, Microsoft will be happily ready to step in and take that
Absolutely.
spot.
And how do you think that may affect, you think that have any effect on like Amazon AWS or anything like that? Because doesn't Google utilize... I didn't know if that would have any kind of ripple effect through any other company from your perspective.
I would think it'd have a ripple effect amongst all the top companies to an extent. I mean, realistically, a lot of them use Google.
100%, yeah.
So
Makes me want to go harder and heavier in Meta now. I know it's way off topic, but it just makes me want to load the bag on Meta.
it's just a very interesting thing that's happening that I don't know if a lot of people caught it in the conversation, but they have supposedly redirected thousands of engineers because of what GTP is, or GPT is. And this is the first time there was a former Google top executive that was interviewed saying Google has never been scared of any competition. They're not scared of Brave. They were never scared of Bing being a relevant thing.
Let me ask you this question though. I mean, kind of flip, different, perspective, different angle real quick. If Chat GTP, who houses their infrastructure, right? Is it Amazon AWS, like where they're hosted to be able to run this, or are they independent? Like, for example, they came in and they shut down, right? Because it was hosted on AWS Truth Social for a little bit, right? Was it Truth Social where they're like, yeah, not going to happen, and that was a whole fight to be able to even utilize Amazon servers to for the hosting and all that. Isn't that something that could happen with Chat GTP to where Google feels threatened? There's some kind of partnership with AWS where it's like, hey, we got to ban them from being able to be accessed on something like that.
Oh, they could.
You kind of know my train of thought where I'm going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, hell, even to take it just a step beyond the financials. What about a high school kid has to write a paper on something? It's not plagiarism.
It's not, because it's unique every time.
Yes. And I mean, they're going to have a huge problem with this. Every university is going to have a massive problem with this.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to take away a lot of, jobs too and careers that have to do with copywriting. You still need the creative behind it. You have to give it the idea to write it. But from the copy itself, that takes out a big industry right there, a huge industry.
Yeah, so it's going to be
something, man.
It's going to change a few companies for sure, 100%. And
it writes college essays in 4 seconds, Johnny. Yeah, 100%. I had it write me something and it spit it out in 5 seconds, and it was good. Shockingly, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, it's something to think about. So, taking it a next step further, what would be your type of move when it comes to an investment, with Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, some of these companies that could be impacted if there was some kind of ripple, if that's something that actually happened in the next, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
Well, Microsoft is a behind-the-scenes investor
in Chat GPT, right?
Yes. Yep. And so they'll be able to outsource certain aspects of this algorithm and everything, and they'll be able to do a lot of different stuff. And this also evens the playing field to a point for all these startups out of the garage right now, basement companies, because now they have access to a very high source of OpenAI. So it could bring a lot of great IPO startup companies into the 2024, 2025 era, which will bring down the Googles, the Metas, the Amazons to a point.
To a point, right?
I mean, they're not going to go away. Will Google go away? I don't think it will. But
no, they may not be, worth what they're worth now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But could they do what Microsoft did? Like, if you remember, God, it was, I don't want to say it's 10 years ago almost. Microsoft was constantly always I want to say it was like a $20, $30 company always. And then they restructured and went with the cloud-based stuff. So instead of just focusing 100% on computers,
yep,
they went into storage.
Right then and there when they started to explode in The
Yeah,
early
and all of
yeah.
a sudden they're like, wow, this is a great business to be in, and everything. So Google has their hands in so much stuff. I can only imagine the stuff that they could create or buy from other people.
Right. It's like they'll adapt, right?
I don't see them ever going away. But I think it's going to look different in 5 years. Google's going to be different. It's not. They're not going to get the lion's share of ads anymore in 5 years. I do think that will go away, especially if the Chat GPT continues to evolve.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I couldn't agree
So,
with you more. Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
definitely a lot
that's one
to
of the.
wrap your mind around and to think about. Like, how do you position yourself from like an investment standpoint to take advantage of this new tech, this new what we're moving into? Like you said, in the next 3 to 5 years, AI, blockchain technology, on-demand liquidity for the banks. Like we are moving into a completely different era. How do you position yourself correctly?
Yep.
Buying the Apples and the Amazons and the Alphabets may still be great long-term investments, but at the same time, I'm young, right? I'm 29. I want to get in some risky shit. I want the stuff that can do what Amazon and Apple and these companies did over the last 20 years. And times are changing, and we're definitely entering into a new era here with
Oh
tech
yeah.
and with all that. So that's all Kathy Woods. I tell you what, she just had a whole like what I'm planning on doing for 2023. It's all metaverse and AI related, it seems like.
Yep. And I think Elon hit it. I mean, he had a conference a few years back. He was worried about the AI and that we need to start limiting
Yep, he was. It was like a couple years ago.
some of the AI companies and revolutions and everything because a lot of people are going to lose jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think the wage gap's bad now, look, wait
Yeah, it's
for
gonna be some
15
Hunger
years.
Game type shit.
Oh God, yeah, that'd be crazy. But I could see it happening. The sad
I
part.
could too. It wouldn't surprise me in my lifetime. Yeah, I could definitely see it
Mm-hmm.
happening. Scary to think that, but it's not unrealistic or a stretch by any means.
Yeah.
Well, good thing there's always going to be some kind of market, whether that's a forex market, a stock market, a crypto market. There's always going to be somewhere for us to come in and make some money. So we're good, right? We are
That's the hope.
protected. Let's
I
hope.
mean, AI is already trading. Computers already trading what 90% of the
Yeah, it's
market.
all algo driven, of course. Yeah, and yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm not
But
afraid of the
the
market
market's for the
because
rich to get richer. So like, I don't think there's ever going to be something that takes away the market. For example.
yeah, the only thing that I would, it's not even a concern of mine. If AI takes over more of the trading, not just
Hmm.
computers but actual AI, it would be smart enough, and maybe they're already doing it now with all the larger hedge funds and stuff. But how easy would it be somebody that has access to $300 billion of capital to dump it, a good chunk of it, on the market at one time, which will overflow and flood like Tesla or something, and massively drop it to 50, 60, 70% down in one day. Randomly, 10 billion, hundreds of billion come in and swoop it up for 70% off. Massively, they're up again. It doesn't, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You don't need $300 billion to drop it. You just need to overflow the bid ask. You need to
Hmm.
have the sellers in control. And so whatever that number would be, that's all you need. You just need one share to accept that sell every single time.
Yep. And I guess the nice thing there from a protection standpoint, to a certain extent, the LULD is 7% intraday circuit breaker.
Sure.
So I mean, like, yeah, to get it down 7%, 50% in a day, but I get where you're going, right? And something like that could happen in a pre or post. It's definitely something to think about. Like, yeah, you're 100%. Like, what if? um,
I mean,
yeah,
if
it
I was
definitely gets you thinking
powerful enough
outside
to
the
do it,
box a
I
little
would
bit.
do it.
You would do it? Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
Drive it
Who's stupid
down,
not to?
with a few $100 million to drive it back up with a few $100 billion on the dip. Yeah, like so if it gets to that kind of point, you gotta think how they're thinking and move like they're moving.
I know.
Easier said than done.
Sure. Yeah, Tesla's shooting right out of that range.
To the long side today.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm done trading. It's 10:17. I know we usually get about 13 more minutes. It's usually like 10:30, 11 o'clock. We wrap up our Fridays because there's more to trading than just trading.
There is.
There is, and I really like to focus on that, especially Fridays, and not stick around all freaking day. Like we had a great week. We came in, we crushed it. It's been an amazing week, amazing first start of February. Why overdo it? Why give anything back? End your week strong and profitable, guys. You got any questions? Let me know. If you have any stocks that you think have great potential, you need some help, let me know. Let's dive into it, guys. But right now, I'm going to personally shut down for the day because I'm having a really, really good start to the month, and I am not going to be giving anything back. Honestly, the only thing that I'll probably be doing today is just trimming a little bit on some of these massive movers. You know, like Meta up 100%, LI up 100%. I mean, for my cost basis. And there's so many here. It's like, yeah, it makes sense to start trimming, and that's the only thing that I'm probably going to be doing today is just trimming a little bit here today, team.
I'm just reading Stir's comment.
Stir, you can, yeah, you don't need to read this comment.
Dominate the indicators. Love it.
Yeah, ask it to go to the trading view and explore the indicators and tell it to design one and come back with the right.
Mm-hmm. That golden goose indicator. Oh yeah.
People have tried to do that, like going to the chat GPT and saying, "Hey, write me a script for TD Ameritrade that'll blah 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 blah," and it's like it's got an 80% win rate. I'm like, well, if that was true, everybody would be using it and everybody would be rich, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, so it's not that simple, not that easy. I mean, still trading at the end of the day still has so much of a human element behind it, you know, that I don't know. It's like human nature. It's human impulsive decision and action that move the market, in my opinion, not pure algos.
Let's see if it'll make me a script. Hang on.
You're diving into it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So anybody questions, let me know, guys, inside of chat. Again, we are still live on YouTube right now. Again, on Fridays, I'm going to start keeping these open because they're shorter days anyway. And then same thing on TikTok. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the session. Maybe you guys got a couple of trades here with us. Quick scalps, nothing crazy, but we're able to lock in 2 for 2. 100% win rate. We got our first overextended short off that level of resistance. We had a beautiful 50-cent reaction to the downside. We were able to scoop up about $150 on that trade. Then we start to see the development of the head and shoulders formation. That one, I will say, hey, I wasn't a fan of the entry. I wasn't a fan of the heat that was taken. That's why I made a decision to get out when I had the opportunity to get out. And it still did yield in a small little profit. So with that being said, that's going to be it for me today. You know, 2 decent little winners, a couple $100, adding it to the bottom line on a Friday. And personally, I'm not a big fan of trading Fridays. Fridays are just not my days for whatever reason. I tend to break even or lose on Fridays. So I know my limits. I know when to be in the market, when to not be. And overall, it was a very successful day, guys. The only other economic report you have coming out is going to be 1 o'clock, and that's going to be the total rig count for February. That's it. So you're pretty much in the clear. So what we got? January non-farm payrolls were surged by 500K. Unemployment ticked down. What was unemployment? 3.4%. Did you see the dollar? Dollar starting to move up pretty nicely. I don't know if you look at the dollar when you do your analysis.
It's actually moving up.
Yeah, so the U.S. dollar index, if you take a look at it, had a really nice false crack to the downside from the way I read it from a TA standpoint. Faking out a lot of these longs, stopping out the longs, bringing in the shorts, just to snap it right back above that 101.50. And now we're actually seeing some great action here on the U.S. dollar. And what do we know about the U.S. dollar? When the U.S. dollar moves up, we tend to see the equities market obviously move down and vice versa, which is kind of in line with your thought process with,
Yep.
seeing the markets pull back, come back down in some lows, retest leading up to the May FOMC meeting when the Fed's expected to start pausing. And just how
Correct.
overextended we are, man. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. I mean, we haven't been this overextended in I don't know how long. I mean, we are really overextended right now. And when this thing snaps back and pulls back, it could be pretty rough.
Yeah, like I said, I still see 380 in its future.
380? Oh, of course. I don't think it's going to happen before the first half of the year, though, personally. Like, I think we could see it by the end of the year, absolutely. But, leading in the next few months, I don't think we see 380 in the next few months, personally. I don't know.
Let me pull it.
Do you think we could? And I'd be curious to know why. Because we not next week, but the week after, we're getting CPI and PPI data. So my analysis this morning and kind of what I think is going to be more of this sideways, maybe slightly to the upside grind. Not straight up, not parabolic, but more calm, more just let's sit back and wait for CPI, PPI. Then we get that reaction. Let's sit back and wait for CPI, PPI. Then we get that massive reaction. I don't think we continue the squeeze here. I could be completely mistaken. Institutions have been buying since October, and there's no sign of institutions, slowing down buying. You take a look at some of the headlines that you've been seeing, like JP Morgan saying, hey, retail investors, you should probably start, locking in some of your profits on this bull run because we're going to come down. I'm like, all right, so just do the fucking opposite.
I just posted in chat that it literally built script for Thinkorswim.
Yeah, someone did that, and they put it in. They said it had like an 80% win rate. I'm like, okay, right, but you're still probably emotional, not disciplined, so you still suck. No, I'm joking.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna have half the community this weekend playing with it, and I guarantee Monday everybody's got scripts for us to test on TOS. I can just see it happening. People are getting creative today, man.
It's just crazy.
Glenn, am I bullish on the SPY for the rest of the day? So, I mean, right now at this point in time, there is no sign of it slowing down. We're in a nice, beautiful uptrend. I mean, really, really clean, really consistent. Throw a trend line on the SPY, and as long as it holds the trend line, I would say you're bullish, at least short term. You ever start cracking that trend line, you might have a nice little crack and a nice little dump on down, and we could start to fade. It's definitely a possibility. I would go back to yesterday and just start marking up some of yesterday's key levels and look and see what we do around some of these levels, such as that 311 mark here on the SPY was a lot of resistance yesterday, right? And then obviously mark up yesterday's high of day and then really go from there and then look at this intraday uptrend. And as long as, again, you hold this intraday uptrend, you could see that nice, slow, steady grind all the way back up towards around yesterday's high. We're looking at the Qs right now. That's 313.57. Let's go take a look at the SPY. And again, do the same thing here with the SPY. Take a trend line off this low, run it on up, go back yesterday, mark up some of those key levels that you notice. And that's going to put us right around with the SPY, right around like 416.93. Then up towards around 417.19, 417.50, and then all the way back up to yesterday's high day. So it could be one of those days where it's that really slow grind on up, right? Like we kind of talked about what we had here on Tuesday, where it was just that really slow grind on up through the entire day. And that's very, very, very possible. But any point in time, you see a really strong reversal off one of these levels of resistance. Any point in time, you really start to see a nice crack of that uptrend. You could absolutely be looking for a nice reversal and play some puts to the downside. But right now, there is just no sign of this slowing down. trade with the trend, let it come back into the trend line as long as it holds, place some calls into your next level of resistance, which would be 416.90.
There you go. I just took a snap of a chart. It's a 1 week bar chart. That's how I kind of see it happening.
I love it, man. Oh, dude, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Some of that sideways chop leading up the CPI, PPI, the market overreacts, dumps, and then wha-bam.
Yep.
Because you got that trend line. And I think, so is that April? So May. So that's going to put you right around April to May, which is perfect timing. Because you might see a little bit of that front running with the market leading up to the FOMC in May.
And it might follow that trend line down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, and kind of tap it a little bit. Yep.
Either at the end of summer or something. I think we're going to shoot for the stars.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you 100%. That's if, right? Because the market is pricing in like perfection right now with like just the market's pricing in like the absolute best case scenario with the Fed and the tightening and the interest rates. And if there's any small little adjustment, like as we know, that could really send the market the opposite direction. And some people are thinking like that happens. You got the Ray Dalios out there. You got the Michael Burrys out there thinking like, hey, that's going to happen. They're still bearish and they're just waiting for the next leg down in the market. And they have price targets of 320 on the SPY. So,
yeah, and we might hear surprise news from Apple or Amazon or at any point at any time that could completely shift and change that.
Yeah, market's pricing in the softest of the softest landing right now.
I mean, what happens if Russia attacks Poland?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
China and Taiwan,
NATO country, and it's literally World War III.
Mm-hmm. That could happen. You never know.
Down to like 200.
I would love that. Let's start selling some cash secured puts, baby. Let's
do it. The only company that's going to benefit is Boeing and
from something like that, and then Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin, yes.
Yep, government contracts galore. Yep,
those things would go through the moon.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I would sell everything and just start cash secured puts. I'm gonna go rob a bank for $1 million. Start selling. No, I'm kidding. I'm live all over the place. I'm gonna have the SWAT team at my door.
Yep.
Hey man, great freaking conversation. Couldn't agree with you more. There's a lot of knowledge here. Talking about alphabet expectations, 3-5 years, AI, what we could see happen, the market. Here over the next couple of weeks, leading into the next couple of months. And this all just goes hand in hand with what a lot of us are doing each and every day, not just day trading, but looking for those investments, looking to make sure we maneuver in and out of the market correctly, and that we don't make any kind of rash, bad decisions. General Dynamics is deep in government contracts. Okay.
Really? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that either. So crypto is moving sideways. Yeah. So, and I've had a lot of people ask me about crypto lately. Like, why is crypto soaring? Should I start buying crypto? No. Want to know why? The only reason crypto's soaring is because what is soaring? The market. There's been so much tight correlation between crypto and the financial markets. If you look at the equities market, the SPY and the NASDAQ, it follows it to a T, right? And when you look at crypto, when Bitcoin moves, well, what follows Bitcoin? The altcoins, the Ethereums, the XRPs to an extent, Solana, Quant. That's why the crypto market's doing well, is because the crypto market has really been correlating with the SPY and the equities market for quite some time. So if we start to see that pullback and that drop on back down, which I personally expect, what are you going to see with crypto? You'll see the next leg down as well. I would not be chasing crypto here at 25K. I mean, you're buying the top right before we're expecting the market to pull back, which would cause the crypto market to pull back as well. That's just my 2 cents, guys. That's why I'm not touching crypto right now at this point in time. But when we think that the SPY and the Qs are going to bottom on out, I am definitely going to start getting back involved in crypto 100% and start trying to bring those cost bases down as much as possible. Do you know of a round and bottom formation for long-term charts? It looks like MULN is setting on up. Let's go ahead and clear that out. I'm going to throw it on a weekly time frame, and we're going to zoom on in. Yeah, so so what you're seeing is just obviously the stock is just dumping, getting destroyed, and finally it's found a long-term bottom. Right, that's it. You found a long-term bottom where we've consolidated, and now we're actually starting to see volume return. We're starting to see it step its way on up. We're starting to see, a little bit of divergence. You have just a slight bit of divergence when looking at the RSI, and you're starting to see RSI gain some strength on a weekly time frame after this stock has literally bottomed and it's been sitting, sideways and consolidating for months at this point in time, which could make it a great opportunity if you like the stock long term to maybe start getting involved, scaling in, dollar cost averaging down against these lows. I mean, it's definitely low risk, right? If this is a trade for you, then obviously go ahead and start building some plans with entry, stops, and targets based on what you have in front of you. And this is a very, very long term swing trade. But if this is an investment for you and you like this company long term as one of your EV plays, then yeah, the stock's off the bottom about 100% at this point in time, from 18 cents to 41, a little over 100%. But if you believe in this long term, over $1, 2, 3, and some people in price targets of $10 plus, then you can't be in a bad, terrible situation. Starting the dollar cost average in as the stock's at like 40 cents.
Following up what Dave just said about what GD sells, I threw up a top 10 contractors is back in 21.
Gotcha. Lockheed, Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Pfizer, Moderna.
And the thing about it is, I only know of like 5 of those companies, 6 of those companies. I don't even know half of them.
Lockheed, Boeing, I know. Pfizer, obviously. Moderna. Yeah, like 4 of them I know. And Raytheon, yeah. So 5. Northrop Grumman, I've heard of them. But what's McKesson?
No idea.
No.
Interesting. But if you look at those charts, I just looked at the top few ones that I didn't know. I mean, their charts just go straight up.
What's Lockheed Martin's? That's LC. What is it? LCKD? No, I'm way off there. I don't remember. It's LMT. But yeah, they're in like October. Yeah, straight up 400 to 5. Just straight on up.
Yep.
And again, they did fantastic here. Obviously, with the Russia-Ukraine that started here in February, you saw this absolutely rip to the upside and it outperformed nicely in 2022.
Oh, yeah.
And Apple, Apple would have been a great one to be in. Do what?
They were up like 20-some% last year.
I think it was, yeah, something like that. So even a couple days ago, they just secured another, $30 million modification Navy contract. So, I mean, yeah, definitely nothing you can go wrong with there. My dad did some work at Raytheon. Nice. What time is it? 10:38, 10:36. Yeah, I got some calls today too, guys. I do appreciate you getting inside of the staging site that we have. I appreciate you guys. For those of you that still have those credentials, I mean, feel free to go back in there, play around with some of those features, and just type what you notice, right? The reply feature, the direct message feature, pop out the chat room. Like, really have some fun with this, really screw with it. And if there's anything you notice, like whatsoever with how some of these new features function, again, type them here in this room. It's a completely different thread and server where the development agency can actually come in and read this, and they can make the improvements as they're actually, reading through these and actually, working on it. So I do appreciate you guys doing that this morning. And then here, probably next week, I'll give you guys access when this is more complete and then start testing out some of the other features and functionality within the 2.0 platform for you guys, like mobile, all that good stuff. But again, maybe a week or two out, and then we'll be able to do that when the time comes, guys. All right. So, again, appreciate you guys very, very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any final questions, now is the time to go ahead and ask those questions. More than happy to help you guys out. Make sure you guys are all set, ready to rock for the rest of the day. But if you guys are good, enjoy your weekend, baby. Enjoy it. Have some fun. Disconnect. Relax. Nothing wrong with it. And we'll come back bright and early, Money freaking Monday, and start our official full week number 2 of February. And keep locking in those profits, guys. Keep this momentum going. It was a great January so far, great February. Let's keep it up. So are we getting close to Alpha 2.0? I would say yes, but if I say yes, it's probably going to be like another year, man. And I say this out loud, hopefully that the development agency is listening. You guys are going to be better at communicating. That's your biggest downfall. And I'm not going to make any more promises because you underdeliver for me. But yeah, we're getting close. I would say 60%. That's closer than being at 0%. It's still not at close to 100, but 60. A lot of the features and functionality still have to come as far as company research, the SIM, like everything we've discussed in the past. But at least we got some of a foundation. I guess that's a plus. We got some of a foundation going here, which makes me feel all bubbly on the inside. Not really. I'm joking. I don't feel bubbly. So we will see when the time comes. I'm going to spaz you guys out, right? Light and dark. All right, cool, guys. We're out of here. We are done. Sounds like rebates to come back from Alpha. Rebates, what? Oh, from the development agency? Yeah. Something, man. Something. Nick, have a good day as well, boss. Love you guys long time. Love you too, brother, man. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. If you need anything, you know where to find me. Yeah, we're going to figure something out. We got to get something going, man. But all right, guys. Again, if you do have those questions, let me know inside of chat. I can always jump back on the mic, help you guys out, and make sure you guys are all set, okay? YouTubers right now, enjoy your day. Hopefully you enjoyed our little session here. Pretty fun Fridays. We come in, we make it happen early out of the gate, identify the opportunities, and again, just make it happen. And it was like 50-50 today with small caps, RSLS, SIDU, MULN. There was okay opportunities, but like I told you at the start of the day, my focus is going to be with the SPY and these larger cap stocks. And again, we had a couple nice winners here on the SPY, and that's all that matters. We come in, identify the best of the best opportunity, we execute, we make it happen, we lock in some consistent profits, and we're done. We call it a day. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you back here on YouTube next week on Monday at 9 o'clock. Take care, stay blessed, enjoy.